Hello everybody and welcome to Maker Monday. My name is Sandy Roberts and I'm with the Warren County Library System. I am your Makerspace Coordinator, and every week at 2 p.m. I'm here with Maker Monday so that we can invent and create and have some fun making cool things DIY with our own hands. We will be streaming throughout the summer here on Facebook and then uploading it to YouTube right afterwards, so be sure that you check back frequently. Let's see, where, if I wanted to show you our website, it would be right there, www.warrenlib.org. That is going to have the calendar of events on it, which is being updated right now for all of our amazing summer reading activities. So in addition to this live streamed Maker Monday, I'll also be hosting online maker camps through Zoom. And we've got a bunch of crazy engineering and invention challenges based on fairy tales for the summer. So it's going to be a really good time. It's a little bit more of a chance to interact personally. We'll have a whole hour to work together and share our creations. So definitely make sure that you take a look at the calendar for that. That should be up hopefully by the end of today, maybe by tomorrow, and registration will be opening for 2 weeks before each of those programs. And those will also be on Mondays and on Fridays. So you have 2 opportunities to do Maker Camp over the summer with me. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. As I said, we will be continuing Maker Mondays, though, as a live stream that you can catch later on YouTube as well. And our theme for summer is going to be, what can you remake? Okay, what can you upcycle and find around the house and make something new and exciting out of that material? And a lot of the activities are actually based on this great book called Remake It. I picked this up at Maker Faire years ago now, because a group that had published this was there and they were sharing all kinds of really fun activities. And what I like is that these things are inexpensive. They're reusing things that might otherwise go into the trash or into a landfill. So they're helping the world a little bit. And they're creative, they're fun. So we've got a couple from here, a couple from some other sources that we'll be doing throughout the summer. So I'm really excited for June and July and August because we've got a lot of fun planned together. All right, I'm just going to turn on my phone so I can make sure that I'm following any comments that are coming in, because if you have questions while we're working, I want to make sure that I'm ready to answer them. So I'm just going to pop that up on my screen. While we're here, let me also mention that you can find material, all kinds of live streams and shared videos on our Facebook page, Warren Lib, and then again on our YouTube channel. So there are story times, there's my Maker Monday and Friday Steam. I'll be adding some Lego Club and Coding Club ideas. We've got adult crafts. So many things will be coming out this summer and are already here on Facebook and YouTube. So make sure that even if you just love my programs, come on back and check out some of the other amazing things our staff is offering. All right, so let's get started with today's activity, okay? This is a pretty simple one. This is actually based on the gum wrapper, and you can't really see it. This is kind of I tried to make a little bit bigger version. The gum wrapper bracelets that folks used to make, and still make, okay, if you're a gum chewer. But basically the idea was the wrapper from your gum, you could fold, kind of origami style, weave together and make a really cool bracelet like we're gonna do today. Now, if you happen to chew gum and you've got lots of those wrappers, you are all good to go. You can make a really cool, shiny bracelet. However, I like to use something that I find a little bit more easily around the house. It seems like you can never get rid of them. Store flyers, okay, for all kinds of local stores. And these are coupons that maybe I'm not using. You know, make sure mom or dad gets a chance to check out the coupons before you go and cut them up. But this glossy material works really, really well for making bracelets and making woven materials. So I love to use this as a material. Of course, if you've got copy paper or scrapbook paper, thin scrapbook paper, that works. If you have origami paper, that works beautifully for this. You just want to make sure it's usually a little bit on the thinner side, the paper that you're going to use. But I am going to show you today how to use construction paper as well, so you can do whatever colors you like. And I'm actually going to be working at double size. I'll talk about the proper size to cut, and then I'm going to show you how to do it a little bit bigger, just because it's a little easier to see. And if you have maybe fingers that aren't as agile, this is a very, very flexible craft. You can really adapt it. Other materials you're going to need today. I'm just going to put my paper over here so I have it ready to go. You are going to need, of course, a good pair of scissors, Or I have a rotary cutter. This is meant for paper. If you have one of these around, they can be really useful. Or if you have a paper cutter, that can be great. You may even prefer to use a craft knife if you're a little bit older. But really, basic scissors will get you through this one. You are going to need a good ruler, okay, because you want to make sure that each of your pieces of paper is cut to as close to the same size as possible. This is one of those times where your measuring skills is really going to pay off, because you want to make sure that everything that you cut out and all the rectangles you're using are just about the same, so you get real nice consistent weave on your bracelet. And of course, you're going to need a marker or a pencil so that you can mark your measurements as you are getting ready to cut. But that's really it. What I love about this is that if you're a gum chewer or you just are going to be outside or whatever, this is a craft that you can throw in a bag and take with you. You can cut all your paper ahead of time, throw it in a Ziploc bag, and if you're in the car for a long ride maybe, you can sit and whip up a bunch of these bracelets, or, and we'll talk about this in a moment, weave them into all kinds of different shapes, okay? So why don't we get started? We're going to switch on over to this other camera and see what we can make. Okay. So let us start by cutting our paper. Now, as I mentioned, originally this was done, I'm just going to move my mic a little bit. Originally, this was done, I'm just making sure it's on. I had a problem with that last week. Originally, this was done with gum wrappers, but I'm not a gum chewer. I just never really have been. So traditionally, you'd have kind of those long silver wrappers, like from a piece of Wrigley's or Juicy Fruit. But you don't need to have that. You can use pretty much any paper. So this is, I don't know, a flyer from somewhere. Ideally, for this, you want to cut your pieces. Do I have a little scrap paper? Yes. Gum wrappers were actually 2 inches by 2.5 inches rectangle, okay? And you would tear that in half to make this. So in classic, you want 1 inch by 2.5 inches for each of your rectangles. Okay, so I'm going to show you how big that is first. I'm just going to, I have a nice cutting mat here. I'm very thankful for that. And I have my ruler. So to do this, you know, your classic way, how should we do this? I'm going to do it over this side. Sometimes I kind of think I'm going to do it one way, and then here I am on camera with you, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to do it a different way. Where's my pencil? All right. I'm going to mark 1 inch. Here we go, 1 inch. 1 inch. What I like about using this thin paper too is I can cut a bunch of rectangles at once. Like I don't have to do each one individually. Now I'm just going to line my ruler up so that I'm against each of those marks I made. And just draw a nice line down. Okay. And there we go. I can see my line. Can you see that? And then just very carefully, holding this together, I am going to use my scissors, and I'm going to very carefully cut right along that line, because remember, we are trying to be as precise as we can, which is part of the reason that they liked using gum wrappers, because every one of those gum wrappers was exactly the same. So we are striving to be as accurate as we can. So there we go. I'm going to just stack these up really nice and neat again, which is a tough thing to do with some of this print. This also works with newsprint. The only thing I have against using newsprint for this is that the ink ends up all over my fingers. And I don't know, I don't like it. Now, so I've got my 1 inch strips, 1 inch wide. Now I need to cut 2.5 inch long rectangles. And again, I'm just going to see if I can, I'm going to trim these. Sometimes it happens with flyers, they're not perfectly square. So just give them a trim so they're all basically the same. And get myself my ruler again. Got my scissors in the way. This is a very tight working space, but you know, we make do. So 1 inch, 2 inch, 2.5 inch. Whoop, I did not do a good job there. 2.5 inches like that. And then I'm going to go in and say 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch. That's my other 2.5 inches. Let's see, can I get a third? 1 inch, 2 inch, 1 inches, 2 inches and a half. Yeah. There we go. Now for a typical 6-inch bracelet, which will fit most wrists, you need about 48 of these little pieces of paper. Okay? This is where if you have something like a paper cutter, it can be really handy. Uh-oh. See, they got messed up on me again. Paper cutter can be really helpful here. Make this go a little bit faster. And last but not least, I've also seen people take some of the like paper that comes in packages that you might get from like, I don't know, Amazon or other stores, and you can use that to cut up as well. There we go, stack them, and there we go. So now I have a nice stack of these. Alternatively, if I was going to use, say, my rotary, which I love, my little rotary cutter, your mom or dad might have one around if they're a crafter. I just line up my ruler like that, and then, oh, I left it way over here. Oh dear. Okay. I try lining that up again. And I don't have to worry about the rough edge because that's going to get folded inside. And I just zip right along. See how much quicker that is? So if you have that tool around, mine definitely needs a sharpening. I've been doing a lot of crafting while we're home. But you can see that goes a little bit faster. And like I said, a paper cutter goes even faster. I'm not going to mess with that because I didn't get that cut quite right. All right. So I also, as I mentioned, cut some construction paper. And these I made larger to work with. So these, I actually doubled this size. So I doubled this size. So times 2, I did 2 inches by 5 inches for these larger pieces, just for demonstration purposes. Let me show you how this works. It's a pretty easy fold. It's very zen. I'm going to zoom in, make it a little bit easier. Okay. First, you need to kind of decide what you want your outside color to be. So that depends on you. I like this black piece. I'm going to keep that as my outside. So I am going to start by folding my piece in half lengthwise. My kids call that the hot dog, right? It's like a little hot dog bun. And then I'm going to open it and fold each side into the middle. Turn it, fold each side right on into the middle. And this does not have to be 100% perfect. Just try your best. And then, oh, I overfolded on that one side. See? It's pretty forgiving. You can just undo it, refold it. Not going to be a big problem. And then fold it over itself like that and give it a good crease. You really want to press it down, make sure that you've got a good piece. So you can see that's now about 1/4 of an inch height. Okay, and we've still got our 2.5 inches long. Now we're going to take it, we're going to fold it width. Okay, so this my kids would call a hamburger fold. I guess just because it's fatter than a hot dog. That I'm going to open back up because I just really want where that crease is. I'm going to fold the outside into the middle again. See, same steps, just in each direction. And I'm going to fold that one. Okay, and then fold the whole thing in half. So it's the same steps, just lengthwise and then widthwise. So you get this tiny, tiny little piece. Okay, and you're going to do it again. I'm going to do it again with another little piece. And you'll see. I like this because I was watching a great video from Maker Faire just recently. We had an online Maker Faire. And a friend of mine, Tanya Fish, who's a great educator and maker over in the UK, actually did a little talk. Okay, so again, I folded it in half lengthwise, folded the outside edges in, and then folded it in half to get that tiny piece. Gonna do the same thing. Fold it in half, like that, and then fold it in. Anyway, so Tanya did a talk about kind of mindful making and how certain types of making like crochet and knitting and paperwork like this, paper crafting like this, can be very meditative and therefore very calming because those kinds of activities let you kind of stop thinking about what might be making you anxious and just focus on what task you're doing in front of yourself. And especially in times when maybe you're a little stressed out, maybe you're doing finals, or maybe you miss your school friends, or, you know, whatever it might be. Sometimes those things can be really good. You need that kind of break mentally. All right, so now I have two little pieces. What you're going to do, and this is hard to see, and I'm going to do it bigger for you in just a moment, is you're going to take that, or take the wings of one, get in there. See, even I have trouble doing this. You kind of flip. Am I getting this? Okay. So you're going to slide the tab from one into the tabs of the other. And this is, like I said, it's very hard to see on these tiny pieces. All right. And you slide that in. Slide it down. Let's see if I can get it. Come on, you. What did I do wrong on this one? If you have to, you just kind of open it up and fold it. It's okay. You can cheat. All right, there we go. Whew, I got it. Whew, tiny, tiny, tiny. You slide it, and you kind of get this L, okay? And once you get that L, you can keep on adding to it. I'm going to do this with a bigger piece now so you can see it a little bit more easily, okay? Let's see, I might need to zoom out just a little bit. All right, so here are my construction paper pieces. Same thing. I'm just going to do this kind of repetition. Fold it up in the middle, hot dog style, nice lengthwise fold. Fold each edge into the center, and the edge into the center again. And that one isn't perfect, and that is okay. Fold it down, crease it well, do the same thing, but the other direction. Fold it to the center, and the ends come in to the center. Okay, there we go. Got that one. Now I'm going to do a red one just so that, again, we've got that contrast of colors. And you can see how this one's popping open a little bit more, and that's why often we want to use a thinner paper. But construction paper makes this easy to see. Okay, again, hot dog fold, outer edge into the center, outer edge into the center, oop, fold it over, crease, and fold to the center in the other direction, and outside in, outside in, and there we go. Now we have our two pieces. Okay. And I think one thing that you can kind of see here is you want to use the side that's got the outer edge rather than the inner edge. See how that's a little bit messier? Okay, so you're just going to take, and again, this is why creasing is very important. You're going to take these two pieces and you're going to slide them into the tabs here. So in they go like that. See? Not so bad. Not so bad at all. Okay. Now, we're going to add the third piece because that could be a little bit crazy. I'm going to make two more very quickly. I suppose if I had to do this over again, I was kind of enjoying doing this before. Maybe I should have just made a bunch of them and I'm sitting there. Oh dear. It's okay. We'll recycle that. We'll use it for some paper making. But I probably should have made a bunch of these little L's and had them ready to go. And I apologize if you're getting bored watching me fold this. If you're watching it on YouTube after the fact, you can just fast forward. I won't be offended at all. And if you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask any questions you might have right there in the comments. Okay. And into the center. Great. All right, so what you want to do is you want to end up with the third piece not going in the same direction as your yellow, right? So here we go. Am I doing that right? Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a red the other direction. It's pretty forgiving, and that's what I like about it. But I want to try and keep to that nice neat edge rather than... You see how quick you start getting at these after a little bit? Just kind of going. And that's what I like about it. It's that meditative aspect of it. It's that repetition that kind of lets you separate your thoughts from anything that might be bugging you. And you just kind of get into the zone. All right, so my nice clean edge, my tabs, and I'm gonna just push. Okay, I'm gonna try anyway. I didn't get a good edge on that one. Let's fix that. Try that again. Am I on camera? When I zoom, sometimes I forget that I have to be right in the center of my mat. Okay, let's see if I can get it. This is the part I'm bad at. We all have our skills. Come on. And this is also where it's tough to be using the thicker paper, to be perfectly honest. Ugh. That one's in. This one does not want to go in. Where's my pencil? Here it is. Okay, if you end up with one that's giving you trouble like that, you can use your pencil to just crease up, out, and sometimes that will kind of sharpen it a little bit for you and let you get that to slide in. There we go. Now I've got it. Okay, and again, thicker paper, a little more challenging. Thinner, shiny, glossy paper, a little bit easier. Okay, now you can see I've got that. Now if I want to come in with my other yellow, I'm going to come in. Where am I going to go? Nope, I want to go this way. You kind of always want to think of making like W's, if that makes sense. And maybe my fingers are tired from practicing. I think they might be. All right, there you go. So you're just going to kind of continue along like that. Where did I put my sample? Where'd it go? All right, and then you can, of course, connect pieces. Here we go. One last one. Fold in half. Outside edges into the center. Outside edge into the center. Fold in half. Right, and then fold in half to crease. Outside edge into the center. This time I'm going to really take care to use my pencil, make sure I get a good crease there because that was really causing me trouble. And outside edge into the center again, like that. Okay, so now I got to think about this, right? Now we got to do the engineering here. Let me think about how we're going to put these together because my next one would go like this, right? I'm building on. Right? No? Yes. See, this is good for working on those spatial relationships, kids. And slide that in. And I promise you using the glossy paper will make this easier. Okay, and then what I can do is if I want to connect, how would I want to connect this? I gotta think about that. Right, if I want to connect it like this, okay, say I want to connect two pieces, or if I want to finish my piece, I would just pop these out like that, fit the piece in, and then very carefully, without driving myself too crazy, I'm gonna use my pencil to just open it up a little bit. Okay, and then you're gonna slide this piece into the other piece, if I can get it. This is so much harder to do with thick paper. But I'm sure it's easier for you to see, which is the point. Okay, so there we go. Make sure I have this lined up the right way. Where do I want this to go? Now I've got myself confused. Okay. Is that where we want? No. How was I doing this? Guys. Anyway, rather than joining two pieces, why don't we just kind of do this? And I don't have enough long enough piece. Okay. Slide it in. Maybe this will be a little bit easier from this side. Okay, this thick paper is really giving me an issue. I apologize. Okay, slide in and slide in. And that is not a good crease, but that is how you can join. Now I messed up my pattern doing it that way because this side was giving me trouble. But you can see that you can keep on connecting, and then you can connect your last two pieces in the same way with a final piece to join them. Okay? So that's the basics of how you build your paper bracelet. All right. Whew. That was troublesome. Construction paper looks nice, not as easy to work with as this nice glossy paper, but I wanted you to be able to see it, and it just didn't show up very well on camera the other way. So I hope that made sense to you. All right, let's switch on back over here. Okay, thanks for bearing with me on that one. I did not think it would be so challenging to do that last connection with the construction paper, but I learned something new, so that's okay. I'm pretty all right with learning something new. So you're just going to keep on connecting your pieces. Now, what's cool is, as you saw, you can kind of Tetris these guys, you know, if you want to build different shapes. Where'd it go? Yeah, I was talking Tetris them together if you want to. You don't have to build a linear shape with these. The same thing, you can build into different shapes with them. You can even, and like I said, I'm going to share the video of Tanya's talk. She took these and actually started building a decahedron shape using these same little folded pieces of paper. So I encourage you to play with the geometry a little bit. Once you get the basic idea down, got my little W, makes me think of Wonder Woman. Once you've got the basic idea down, you can kind of just continue and continue and continue. And like I said, you can try different papers too. Origami paper, if you happen to have it at home, works really beautifully for this. You get really nice crisp folds with it, and it comes in so many beautiful colors. You just want to always pay attention that when you're doing that first fold, right, you're folding with the color that you want to show on the outside. Anyway, that was our paper bracelet. It's the first of our kind of upcycled Maker Mondays that we're going to be doing over the next couple of months, featuring things like this from Remake It. This is a really fun book. I'll be featuring some other really great books of upcycled and recycled projects. So definitely join me 2 p.m. every Monday, and we will continue all through this summer. If you go ahead and make some of your wonderful creations, I would love to see them. So I've made something called a Padlet. And what a Padlet is basically almost like bookshelves or a page where you can share your creations. You can put video or pictures or do a screen capture and share what you've made, and you can like one another's things and leave kind, positive, comments. So if you want, it's a nice safe place to share to parents in case you're worried about things, not being safe for maybe some of the younger kids. I moderate it so you don't have to worry. The only things that are going on there are things that should be on there. So you can take a look at that website. I'll post it also in the description so that you have that. I would love to see what you guys are making. And remember, you can always hashtag us too. Let's see. I believe, yeah. Hashtag WarrenLib anytime you participate in one of our programs. That way we'll know and you'll share out to others what you're up to. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Sandy Roberts. I'm the Makerspace Coordinator for the Warren County Library System. We miss you. We are going into our first summer reading program that's going to be mostly, pretty much exclusively online. It's both exciting and a little scary, but I think it's going to be a really great opportunity to try new things. Stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy this beautiful day if you are able, and we will see you just as soon as possible at the library. Take care, everybody.